Hello and thank you for joining us on a Monday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, Nigeria and India pledge to strengthen economic ties, agrees on crude oil and LNG supply. Organized Labour urges President Tinubu to reverse floating of the Naira, energy costs to ease suffering among Nigerians. And later on the show, President Tinubu congratulates Governor Ayedatiwa on his victory in Ondo governorship election, commends the electorate for peaceful conduct of the poll, as PDP rejects results, says it is reviewing the outcome. I'll be hanging out with Majid Jamiu and Dotun Oladipo. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Diplomatic relations are most impactful when they translate to tangible economic gains. In line with this, Nigeria and India have pledged to strengthen their relationships in major areas relating to the economy, healthcare, and security. The agreement was reached during a bilateral discussion between President Bola Tinubu and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi during his visits to Nigeria. The two countries also signed long-term contracts for the supply of crude oil and liquefied natural gas, LNG, as well as technical support in pipeline security. All right, Majid, let's start with this. A historic visit by the Indian leader and its delegates to Nigeria. But tell me, how significant is his visit and its benefit to both nations? Talk about Nigeria and India. The significance of the visit.
Yeah, very significant visit and of key mutual beneficial importance to Nigeria and India. Recall that in September last year, President Tinubu visited India, where some investors from India pledged an additional $14 billion investments in Nigeria. And also recall that today in Nigeria we have about 200 Indian companies employing,
yes.
Offering employment to a lot of people. The companies manufacturing all those keke and several other ones that are into pharmaceuticals and several other fields. So while we also export crude oil, liquefied and natural gas. So India is one of our key importers of crude oil, where we export to. So the two visits, the visit, which is like a return visit by PM Narendra Modi, it's quite significant, and one key moment which I can never forget was when he said, "My friend."
Yeah, Oremi.
That killed it.
Yes.
Which means, it shows the conviviality between the two leaders, and that is very familiar. Whoever gave him that line did a very good job. So, in the health sector, there is a lot of cooperation between Nigeria and India in terms of a lot of Nigerians going from here to India for health issues and medical tourism. And in terms of academics, we have a lot of, in times past, a lot of academics from India coming.
I used to have a classmate in primary school.
Coming to teach, especially the science subjects here in Nigeria. So it's been a long years of economic, cultural relationship. And of course, the first set of home movies that we were used to in Nigeria were Indian movies. So before Jackie Chan and all those other ones came. And now we can see a collaboration between Kannywood, which is the Indian version, and Nollywood. They are collaborating. And Netflix is supporting in this instance, where you see a host of Nigerian actors like RMD and
yes.
and likes of them, going to India to act alongside top Indian actors. So there's several areas of collaboration between Nigeria and India. And recall that last year at the UN Climate Summit, yes, Nigeria supported India to fly that, to make 2023 a year of the millet.
Okay.
I mean, they grow a lot of millet there, and we also grow some here. Yes. So, I mean, Nigeria supported India to establish that and document it.
And document
a lot of areas of support between them.
All right. Dotun, growing up, I used to like Indian movies. Talk about Nigerian, Bombay to Goa, and all of it. But now, looking at this first, let's talk strategy now. What steps should the Nigerian government, be taking to ensure that this visit translates into something tangible for the benefit of both countries?
Well, I think we're already on the way. Because if you ask me, somebody getting our highest honor, Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, it's not something to toy with. It shows that we really want to play in all those fields that my boss here has highlighted with India. And it's important. And when we look at it, for now, as a country, our major export to India still remains crude. We've been told that over time now, we've been able to increase our output, daily output to 1.8 million barrels per day. And the target in the next 1 or 2 months is for it to get up to 2 million.
Maybe 2.1.
Or 2.1. Meaning that we can get more money
from
doing business. From information available, our bilateral trade with India fell from 14.95 billion between 2021 and 2022 to $11.8 billion. We're talking dollar now.
Okay.
For 2022-2023, which is significant.
Exactly.
And this was as a result of our not being able to sell enough oil to India, which is willing to buy from us. So if we now have this increase, then it opens some form of door for us to be able to earn more money. And India is willing to buy. So it means while some others are cutting down on fuel, the crude,
yes,
we still have India that wants to buy from us. So we need to we are now sure that if we are able to increase volume of production of crude, we have a market waiting for us. That's surely the meaning. We have a market waiting for us. So we'll need to really get ourselves primed for this. There are other things that India needs that we've been unable to meet the quota. What we need to do now is, in areas where we have Europe rejecting us, we now have this Oremi who wants to play with us. And we establish standards and say, okay, if you want this, we'll be able to meet your own standards. Because every country always sets these standards that we want. Don't just come and dump something on me. So we should be set. Nigeria should be set. Yes, we also set standards for what we are getting from them. But we also should be set, because that's the problem we've always that's the problem we've always had with Europe. Why now Europe will go to a place like Cameroon or South Africa to go and get red oil, which is palm oil, whereas we have it in abundance. They used to take it from us. Where they will go to South Africa to go and get beef, despite the fact that they speak of different diseases, whereas we have it in abundance here.
Exactly.
So we now have to up our game. That's the preparation we have to do now, because we need these partners who are really going to be our friends, not just trading partners.
Not
we need
just
them
trading,
now.
not just
yes,
trading.
not just trading.
Yes, because of our time, let's also look at some of the MOUs that were signed. You know, defense, health, agriculture. But looking at trade, do you think these agreements could impact Nigeria's economy?
Yes, like Dotun said, the balance of trade is not to our advantage as we speak, because there has been a decline in our exports to India. So the only way we can boost that without relying on crude oil alone is also to ensure that we export finished or products that has value addition.
Value, okay.
Yeah, that we have. Not sending just raw material.
Raw material.
Okay.
That can. When you have value addition, maybe processed cocoa instead of sending raw cocoa for chocolates and what have you. And now that we have Dangote refinery here, there's been an increase in the competition for our crude oil because Nigeria has one of the best grades of crude oil. That's the burning light and the sweet crude. They call Nigerian crude the sweet crude. So there is high demand for it, and the price is always almost like between $5 higher than the normal ones, which has a higher sulfur content. So we need to harness all this. Then, in terms of counter-terrorism, there are some agreements signed. Also in the health sector, to aid our pharmaceuticals.
Yes, exactly.
And, they are very good in terms of drugs and their pharmaceutical stuff. So, and also even technical. And in terms of providing services, in the services sector, India earns a lot of money because they have a cheap labor force over there. So we can tap into all of this, and that is why creating a knowledge zone and ICT-based economy.
They are doing well.
They are doing well there. We can tap into that.
Exactly.
I think these are some areas where we can actually cooperate with them.
And the economy get impacted.
Yes, we can achieve a positive balance of trade with India. That is how we can really be true friends. Because if we continue to,
if it's one-sided,
exactly, that's not fair.
They are chipping $30 billion worth to us, and we can only send maybe 20 to them, and we have a $10 billion deficit. Exactly. So we need to strike a balance of trade with India.
And then there was something Ohaneze said, a faction, so to say, which I think we should look at. The number of Nigerians who are in Indian jails. We need to talk now that we have a friend.
All right.
Resolving this.
All right.